And welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I have my lovely co-host Becky with us.
Hey, everybody.
With both of us.
Yeah, it's the two of us.
We're hanging out in the studio.
Just the two of us.
We are hanging out in the studio. But before we get started, Becky's got to give the disclaimer.
Yes, we are not doctors, therapists, counselors, or trained medical professionals. We are not here to treat, diagnose, or prescribe any means of treatment. We are here to share what we have been through and overcome in hopes of inspiring, uplifting, and empowering others.
Yeah, so welcome back to the Survivor Girl, everybody. We are so glad to have you here, and we love having you guys in the chat. So please feel free to participate as you are joining in. Say hi to Becky and I. We've got some heavy stuff to talk about tonight. We did have Crispy Bacon going to join us tonight,
Yes.
but some things come up in life, and we all know that. And we were able to go ahead and work around that, and it's no big deal. We just hope that everything works out for him, and maybe we will try to get him in the studio again some other time. But we are able to move forward. We're flexible, and we've got stuff to talk about all the time.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Right? Exactly.
But we're going to start out before we get into all of that stuff, because we are going to talk more about our origin stories. We want to give some shout outs.
Yes, and our first shout out goes to the one who's already signed on
Oh.
to listen to us. Hey, Derek.
Derek, hey,
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much. And I have to wish my cousin Megan and my other cousin Nathan a happy anniversary. They've been married
that's
7 years today.
Awesome. I seen the pictures earlier.
Yeah.
Beautiful pictures.
Yes.
Great, beautiful.
She had
beautiful
the
couple.
perfect, beautiful couple, and
Yeah.
she had the perfect dress for her.
She looked awesome.
She did.
Amazing.
She did.
Happy
So,
anniversary to you guys.
yes. And I have to say, Nathan or Nate
Yeah.
is just a wonderful guy.
He is.
Because he came into the family,
Mhm.
married Megan, adopted the two older girls,
Oh, how cool.
and he treats them and protects them like they are his very own.
That's
And
amazing.
if ever there was an epitome of Superman,
That'd be him.
it would be Nate.
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
that is an awesome man to be able to do that. Anybody, a woman,
Yeah.
man, whoever. I realized that you do not have to grow your child in your stomach to be a mother, or
Right.
you don't have to father a child to be a dad.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's awesome. Very cool.
Yes. So great addition to the family.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
For sure. And we have some more shout outs. Tuscola Palooza.
Yes.
Terry and Eric, you guys were part of the board for Tuscola Palooza, and incredible. You guys did such a great job. The turnout was amazing. And we're looking forward to next year. We were so thankful to be a part of that. Don't Make This Weird was a sponsor for it. That's the other
Yes.
podcast that I'm on.
Yes.
But it was so cool. The bands were incredible. The crowd was incredible. And I have to say, Tuscola County, you guys know how to rock and how to get along and have a great time. It's not unusual, but there's a lot of times when you go to like a show or concert or whatever, and there's somebody that's acting a fool. That didn't happen. I didn't see it.
Oh,
If it did,
that's
I didn't see
great.
that happen. And
That's
also a shout out to Flint Santa, Doug Taggart. I think that is his last name. He was up there for every single band.
Oh, wow.
He looks like Santa.
Okay.
He's a smaller version of Santa.
Okay.
But he was up there dancing and cheering on each band.
So
like
Santa
every
was
band.
on vacation at Tuscola Palooza.
Yes, and Adam
That's
said
awesome.
Adam said that he deserves a stage presence award
Yeah.
for being up there, or crowd presence as a Santa, play on words there.
Yeah.
And so I messaged or text that in the thing today and tagged him, and it was cool.
Yeah.
He was awesome. So 9 bands,
9 bands.
all incredible.
Yes.
All incredible.
And
It was cool. It was so much fun.
I unfortunately wasn't able to make it out there, but circumstances being what they are, I gotta
Right.
listen to the doctor and
Yeah,
take
we
care
want
of
you around.
myself. Yeah.
We want you to stick
Yep,
around.
so- But the foot is looking a lot, or the heel is looking a lot better. So
Awesome.
I'm
Good
very
news.
excited about
Good
that.
news.
We've got some more people in chat. Adam says we're sounding great, so
Yay.
that's great. Candy says hello, ladies, hello, and
Hey,
Jeremy
Candy.
says hey, hey, hey.
Jeremy. Hey,
Yes.
man.
And then Derek says, of course, sometimes we just have to roll with the punches, and that is so
He's not
true.
wrong.
He
He's
isn't
not wrong.
wrong. No.
But, you know,
Which is
that's.
kind of what we're doing today. We're just
We
rolling
are.
with those punches.
We are rolling.
So,
Sometimes, you know, we get these plans in life, and it's not our choice
well,
sometimes.
I
you
was
know?
going to say Burns in a poem said the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry, which Steinbeck quoted in Of Mice and Men. So
Yeah.
there's so much truth in that statement.
Very much. But, you
So-
know, and that's okay because we're learning. Like, I come from the past of I'm Chicken Little and the sky is falling to
Yeah.
finally being able to chill and be like, okay, we'll get there when we get there. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Things will work the way they're supposed to. So here we are.
And if they don't work the way that you think they should, there's a reason for that as well.
And a lesson, usually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And boy, did I learn some good lessons this weekend.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it? Or are
Well,
you not really?
It's more of a. There's been a person in my life
Okay.
who seems to constantly be disappointing me as
Okay.
far as they'll make plans
Right.
and then cancel at the last minute. And my realization yesterday after another canceled plan
Yeah.
was, why am I fighting so hard for this person to stay in my life when
They keep dismissing
they,
themselves.
yeah, they just keep dismissing themselves. And it's more of a it's more to say about them than it is to say about me.
Right.
And I'm just gonna have to take care of myself and just, unfortunately, I'm gonna quit trying.
Yeah. Well, there's sometimes that, you know, you don't want to. Sometimes your heart is like, man,
Yeah.
it's just. There's times when people dismiss themselves and you're
Yeah.
wondering, okay, well, what is going on in their life as to
Yeah.
why they're doing this? There's got to be something
Yeah,
underlying.
exactly.
But if it's a continual thing, sometimes you just have to go, okay,
Yeah.
when they're ready, they'll come back.
If
Or if they do, they don't.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
it's hard. It's hard. I
Yeah.
grew up with hearing, you know, not all of your friends are going to be in your life for the rest of your life.
Right.
And I was devastated at a young age hearing that. I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, they're mine. I'm
As-
keeping them.
yeah.
They're mine.
And I was told there's a season, a reason, or a lifetime.
This is a very true statement.
And I have learned a lot of things from this person
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
So maybe it is time to cut the cord and just let them be them and me be me. And
Right.
if our paths cross, that's great. And if not, that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes that's how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember back to when Crystal LaFay was on the show.
Yeah.
She had spoke about that too.
Yes.
And you know, that's a pretty powerful thing. Just sometimes that's just how life goes.
Yeah.
Do you want to see those people go? No.
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 I mean,
Especially since this particular person has been in my life for
ever.
ever.
Pretty
Well,
much.
not forever, but
A long time.
20 plus years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
It's a long time,
long
and it's
time.
heartbreaking to have to say, okay, you do you, I'm gonna do me, and
Right.
whatever. But
And then sometimes you just got to have that conversation and
Yeah.
find out where they're at.
it has done no good.
No. Oh,
No.
okay. Well, then
So-
sometimes you don't.
Right.
So, before we get further in, though, we wanted to go ahead and shout out. Well, not shout out.
No.
There's some special prayer requests.
Special prayer requests.
So
yes.
if you guys could go ahead and say a little prayer,
Special-
unspoken.
Yes.
You know, there's some
Yeah.
people that have messaged into
Yeah.
into our
There's well,
Facebook.
there's me continued prayers for healing on my heel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I said, it is looking a lot better.
Good.
So, but unfortunately, it is going to take a while, and it has. It's. I have to do my part, which is stay off of it as much as possible.
Right.
Don't put any pressure on the back of it.
Which is
so,
tough.
yeah, especially
Tough.
I mean, wearing shoes
Yeah.
or not wearing shoes. So
Either way, not
Yeah.
good.
not good.
Hard.
To say this one because she doesn't. My aunt had knee surgery,
Oh, yeah.
knee
Yep.
replacement
Yep.
surgery, and she's doing well. But she could also use the prayers for speedy recovery and
We can put those out there.
yep.
Some good
And then
vibes.
someone special to Survivor Girl is going in for surgery, and they
Mm-hmm.
asked for unspoken prayer requests for that.
Yep. Yeah. One of our biggest supporters.
Yes.
She's got a huge surgery coming up, so we are going to put that out there. I've got a couple more to continue with Crystal LaFay's
Yes.
healing. She's got good news. If you guys follow her on Facebook,
Yes.
we'd like to get her back on again because we want
Yes.
her to talk about
Yes.
her process. Also wanted to put some prayers up. My uncle also had knee surgery done.
Oh.
He's been dealing with some pain with that. Some crazy. I think this is number 12.
Oh, wow.
He's had a lot of knee surgeries, a lot of stuff happening. So we want to put those out there. My aunt is going through chemotherapy right now, so that want to put that out there. And there's some, a couple other, like you said, underlying unspoken prayers that can go ahead and be pushed out too. So thank you guys for doing that.
I was going to say,
we
I know
appreciate
several
it.
people who are having financial issues
that
need prayers as well.
Yeah.
So
if you don't pray, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
positive
not
vibes.
your thing. Do your thing.
Do your
if
thing.
you don't mind
yes.
putting it out there to the universe. We have our own faith. We have our own beliefs and whatnot, but we don't push off other people's beliefs or believe that they're not worth it either.
Exactly.
So however you guys do it, whatever you want to do,
Yes.
put those good vibes out there. We definitely appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Got a couple things. Oh, was that all for your prayer list that you
Yes,
had?
that was all for my prayer
all right.
list.
All right. Jeremy says, sounding good and looking great, ladies. Thank you, Jeremy. Candy is saying, I have spent too many years chasing friendships or relationships. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And it's understandable.
Yeah, it is.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And then if you want to read Derek's.
Oh, it says hugs to all and F cancer. Yes.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, and it's all love. So anything you do in love, in the form of love, is greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Are you ready for
Are
this?
you ready? I've been struggling all day with this, so
okay. Well, I guess it's
time.
time.
It's time.
Through what we talked
Yes.
about, though, guys, just getting it out there and talking about it is actually helping us to heal as well.
It is. It really is.
And we're hoping that in doing so that we are helping to touch other people's lives. And we are so grateful when people come to us and tell us that we have, because we know we're going in the right direction. So thank you guys.
So
All
yeah,
right.
it's been a struggle today.
Okay.
Simply because I was looking on Facebook and Facebook memories popped up Megan's wedding pictures, and there's a really good picture that I shared on my personal Facebook page of Megan and my dad. And he looks so very happy.
Yeah.
And of course, he was always happy when he was with family because that was his happy place.
Yes.
Family was happy place. And the reason it's so hard is because I lost my dad in July of last year.
And it's only been just now a year.
Just now a year. So I've been on the struggle bus all day today because of that picture, because I've been missing him, because I've been missing Mom. So part of my origin story that we haven't really talked about right now is I'm technically an orphan.
Yeah.
Because 3 years ago, Mom passed away from some lung issues.
Yeah.
She pretty much had pneumonia and she never got better. And Dad and I had to let her go.
Yeah.
Which was really extremely hard.
It's not a decision that anybody should ever have to make for their loved one.
No. And then last year, Dad was presenting with a lot of the same symptoms and issues that Mom had, and he'd get better, and then he'd get bad again, and then he'd get better, and he finally just passed away.
Yeah.
So here I am, 3 years an orphan now.
Right.
Or 4 years an orphan. So
Right.
just about.
And he was in there for a long time, and you went day after day.
He was in the hospital for 2 whole months at least. And for a while, I was going every day. And then he was put in ICU. He was on a vent. And while he was on the vent and in ICU, I would go every other day. And his special friend, Joan, would go the days that I wasn't there.
Because you need some time.
You do.
You feel guilty.
You do feel guilty. Extremely guilty.
But you do need it. You were a caretaker.
Yeah, exactly.
For both of them, you were a caretaker.
Yes. Yeah, I lived with Mom and Dad for my whole entire life. And when Mom got cancer of the colon, Dad and I became her caregivers. she survived the cancer after having a hemicolectomy, and then after her 7 years of being cancer free, she gets sick again.
Yeah.
And so she was actually put in Henry Ford Hospital
I
down
remember
in
that.
Detroit. And again, it was really hard for Dad and I because we couldn't be there every day. And we'd have to go maybe twice a week,
Yeah.
which was rough. And then we had to make the decision. And that wasn't easy.
No, it never is. Never.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you both felt that too with
Right.
not being able to make it down there like that.
Yeah.
That guilt. But I think there comes a time when they understand too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't remember or recall if she was kind of in a coma throughout
Yes.
or.
She was put in the hospital, and then she had pneumonia, and she kept, it seemed like whatever they tried to do for her, whether it was putting her on a CPAP or putting her on a BiPAP, she kept, it seemed like she was fighting it.
Yeah.
And so finally they suggested having the vent put in, which put her in, arrested state. And she never got off the vent.
Wow.
Well, she did get off the vent because we decided to
Right.
take the vent off. And
Because she just wasn't getting better.
she wasn't getting better. Nothing. They exhausted everything that they could do for her.
Yeah.
She just kept getting infection after infection, and they finally said,
You have to make a decision.
"You have to make a decision." Dad and I went to the hospital with my Aunt Dee and my Aunt Lou, and we made the decision to take her off the vent. And 45 minutes after she was taken off the vent, she was gone.
She was gone in that time.
Yeah.
And luckily
Which-
you weren't alone.
Right, exactly. But it was really hard because it was on Good Friday that
Yeah.
she passed.
Yeah.
So Easter is extremely hard.
Yeah. I imagine. I
Yeah.
mean, those days are.
Yeah.
And you don't really forget. I remember in the first year when Mom had passed away, I remember recalling those dates over and over every month.
Yeah.
It's the 14th. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's been a
Yeah.
month. It's the 14th. It's been 3 months. It's,
Yeah.
And I remember I would tell Tony this. I'm like, oh, I know I'm having a hard day today because today's the 14th, or
Yeah.
it's going to be the 14th. And he'd say, at some point, you're going to have to remember that you got to keep living. Like, but it's hard when you
It
you
is.
remember those dates and you kind of count down,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's not an easy part of the grief.
No.
I mean, there's nothing easy about grief.
No, nothing easy about
Nothing.
grief.
So,
But the funny thing is, when Derek says that it's all love,
right.
that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Grief is your last act of love.
Oh, it is.
It really is.
So, in that time, were you in the room when she passed?
Yes.
Were you holding her hand or by her side?
I wasn't holding her hand. Dad was playing their wedding song
Oh my gosh.
when she took her last breath. He was holding her hand. I was down with my hand on her leg.
Yeah,
Because that's where I chose to sit.
that's where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You don't forget that.
you don't.
You see that image probably still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and there is something very final about that last breath
Oh yeah.
that just...
Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely hard to watch, especially the person that I know you had said that your mom was like one of your best friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I felt the same about mine. And being there for my mom's final breath, I can't forget that image.
No,
I can't.
you can't.
And you think, and like after my mom had passed, I had said, my mom was there for my first breath and I was there for her last. And man, is that statement like a hard one because they prepare us for life.
Yeah.
They don't prepare us for losing people that we love.
No.
They don't.
No.
I don't feel that way.
No.
We go through life trying to improve our lives and
Yeah.
build our life up, but
Yeah.
we don't learn how to celebrate
Right.
their lives in a healthy way. We don't learn how to do the grieving until we are in it.
Yes.
And even then, there's no real textbook about how to deal with this stuff.
Exactly.
Unless you talk. Like, I found joining groups was a really good
Yes.
thing. Facebook, there's different groups of grief and different things on there. And I can't really stay on them because I feel better about the situation. And then
Yeah.
some of it drags me back in.
Yeah.
So there's a time for it to be helpful and healing.
Yes.
But then you get to the point where you're just like, okay,
Yep.
that helped. Thank you.
Yes.
But now it's time for me to move away from it.
Yeah.
So
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 I was
then
going to say, and then anybody who knows July, anyone who was with me in July knows how much of a crapshoot July was for me.
it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I was hard to love. I'm not even going to deny that I wasn't.
It was a bit tough.
It was a bit tough.
But when you broke it down and you explained to us and we were able to all sit down and talk about it and be
Yeah.
like, okay, she's going to talk now. We were able to help you get through it,
Yes.
you know. And that's important.
Yeah.
If you have people that you love and that you can lean on through things like these. But sometimes
Yeah.
I find I don't know how to tell somebody how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I just don't sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's hard. But sometimes just sitting there and being there with that person helps.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing about us both, you know, having the friends that we have and the tribe that we have and the people that we have around us, you know,
Yeah.
we're able to talk about it and, you know, so then it was, what, 2 years after your mom had passed away that Dad did? Or 3? What was the timeline for you?
Okay. Mom died in 2016.
Okay.
Was it? Yeah, I believe it was 2016, and then Dad passed away in 2018.
Okay. So it was about 2 years.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it was about 2 years because Mom was born in 1951, and she died about 4 or 5 months before her 65th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. And Dad was born in 1953 and died 4 days before his 65th birthday.
Jeez.
So yes, both of my parents were young when they passed.
They were. Yeah, that is still young.
Yeah.
That's very young.
Yeah. Of course they said that they were old, but
Of course.
it's still
Of
really
course.
it's still really young. So
Right.
and today was just one of those days where I was overcome with the grief. I'm living in the house that we lived in together, and I am now dealing with getting rid of the stuff, all of the stuff.
That was something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. And I know that your mom
Yeah.
had left a lot of stuff too.
She had a 2-bedroom apartment.
Uh-huh.
And my mom was a master at hiding things. Master
my folks
at
too.
hiding things.
Yes.
You walked in and it was like, wow, this place is very well kept.
Yeah.
And then
then-
started to go through everything. And that was especially hard. And like I said, my mom was my best friend as well. And it was hard to watch somebody that I loved that was always a strong person
Yeah.
go from next to nothing. Like, you know, not just with losing weight and getting frail, but it was hard to see her not be able to do the things. My mom was like I'm gonna work 3 jobs, 4 jobs kind of person, and I'm gonna make things happen.
Always on the go.
She was.
Great work ethic.
She could keep up with any. She did her
yeah.
own plumbing.
Yeah.
I mean, she was incredible. Like, such an amazing person.
Yeah.
So, and she still was, no matter, don't get me wrong. But it was hard to watch this strong, amazing person go down to nothing almost.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, going through all the stuff in the house and whatnot, I started giving stuff away. Like, if you needed something, I was like, come over.
Yeah.
Having a sale. If you want to donate something, cool.
Yeah.
You know, luckily she did the life insurance stuff, so that helped to cover everything. So I start opening up different things, and there's like this barrel, and I open up this barrel, and there's like a ton of fake flowers. And I'm not talking like your Dollar Tree flowers. I'm talking Joann's, the most expensive,
Michael's the most
like
expensive.
$7-12 a flower kind of thing. And
Oh
she made
wow.
flower arrangements,
Okay.
But then they were gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, but I can't keep everything. Like,
Yeah.
and you feel like you need to.
Yes.
I'm going to hold on to this. This is my
Yes.
mom's, whatever. But so anyway, what me and my cousin decided to do is we got them all, we gathered them all, and we went over to the place where she was at, Courtney Manor, and we donated all the arrangements so that the
nice.
residents could have
Flowers.
because they were beautiful
in their room and stuff.
So I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, I can't keep this, but there was a lot of stuff because I was in a hurry to get her apartment clean because I wasn't paying another month for her. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So there was a big hurry about getting, of course I had family come in, find, pick stuff that they wanted. And it wasn't like, don't take it, whatever,
Yes.
There was a few things that I wanted, but I ended up with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And, it took me a long time for about, I'd say 2 years and maybe a little bit longer. I had some of my mom's stuff in the back of my trunk.
Yeah.
I had her purse back there forever.
Yeah.
I just kept it in there, like mixing bowls.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff were riding around in my trunk, and because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't doing it.
Yeah, you do, and that's the thing is you get to a point where you finally get ready to let go of all of that stuff.
Right. But it sticks around. Like, you still continue to keep it. But I guess this is something that we kind of want to talk about because we want you guys to feel like if this happens,
Yes.
don't hold on to so much because the clutter can drown you.
Yes.
It can drown you. Like, so much stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to keep everything.
Right, exactly.
But if you're in a pinch, I get it. If you don't want to do it, like I didn't, I had stuff in the closet. I had stuff everywhere.
I was going to say, well, fortunately, we have some good storage on the property.
Yeah, true.
So all of the things
Very
that I
true.
know that I want to get rid of, those are all going out into one of the sheds that are on the property.
Yeah.
And as I'm putting stuff out there, I'm pricing it.
Yep.
So when the day comes that I'm actually ready to have a yard sale, everything will be priced. We will literally just have to take and put stuff out on the tables.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome. I mean, that's a good plan.
Yeah,
If
well,
you've got the storage,
I
that's
was
a
gonna
great
say,
plan.
it was my aunt's
Yeah.
idea. So,
good idea, Andy.
yeah, it
by
was
the
a
way.
very good
I know you're
idea.
probably listening, or you're gonna tune in.
She's trying to listen, but they're dealing with rain right now.
Oh,
so,
okay. Well, when you tune in, we love you,
when
Andy.
she turns in.
Great idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's just the thing is, you want to keep everything because it was theirs.
You do. Yeah. You do.
But
You can't hold on to everything.
Do it. Yeah.
It's not a good idea, guys.
So, we took. Dad was not ready, so the whole entire time Dad was in the house. He refused to get rid of any of Mom's clothes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he took them out of the dresser that
Yeah.
they were in, boxed them up, but he refused to. He wasn't ready to let them go.
Right.
So, I took all of the clothes to one of our local secondhand shops.
Yeah.
After Dad had passed, and just donated those. And then Aunt Dee came and helped get rid of Dad's clothes, and we took all of Dad's clothes, boxed them up, and she dropped them off at a veterans home on
cool.
her side of the state.
He would have loved that.
Yes.
There was something that came out of some of your dad's stuff that was very cool that you got for Christmas from, I think, Joan.
Yes. My dad had a pair of bib overalls, and her friend Rosie, such a dear, took and cut up the bib overalls and made both Joan and myself aprons.
That's cool. It was very cool.
It is, and every time I'm baking or cooking, I wear the apron, and
That's cool.
it's like Dad's
Wasn't there
with me.
like placemats
Yes,
too?
yes.
Those were awesome.
Cut up. She made placemats and pot holders as well.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Um,
that's a really
so-
I think that's a good thing. Like
Yeah.
that you can use. It's practical, so it's not
Yes.
just sitting around.
Yes.
One thing that my mom used to do that I thought was very cool. She used to make memory bears.
Oh,
And she'd
yes.
make them for
Yeah.
Grant's funeral home over there in
Uh-huh.
Cass City. And then her and a bunch of ladies got together and started making quilts and stuff for hospice.
Yes.
So when my mom actually was put on hospice, we ended up getting a quilt.
Uh huh.
and a memory, like a memory kind of bear
Oh,
thing.
wow.
And I thought, man, this is so cool. Like, she would have been super happy about
Yeah.
that. And I don't know if it was one that she made. I'm
Yeah.
not sure, but it was very cool. And that was the kind of thing, like, your dad and your mom were incredible about giving back and being
Yes.
good people like that.
Yes.
And my mom was in that way too.
Yes.
And I think that's really awesome. So I think I'd like to encourage others that if you're able to do some of these kind of things,
Yes.
or whatever,
Yeah.
we wanted to keep on doing.
I was gonna say,
you
and
know,
my Aunt Barb, she took T-shirts.
Yeah.
Some of Mom and Dad's most worn T-shirts.
Yeah.
And she cut those up and she made throw pillows
Oh,
out of the
cool.
T-shirts.
Very cool.
So, Mom and Dad's kids each got a pillow.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yep.
That's so. I mean, you guys, it's okay. Like, I've seen the necklaces.
Yes.
I've seen
I
like
was
all
gonna
of these
say, and
memory
I
things, the
do have-
artful ash things with the
Yes.
ashes in it. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do, how you feel about things, or whatever. You know.
Yeah. I still have Mom and Dad's ashes.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to be cremated. And when I'm ready, I'm going to spread them somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I found out isn't illegal. You just have to...
Make sure it's not in water, I think.
No, well, our
I
local
mean, that's a
funeral home...
good idea, but.
Our local funeral home said that when I was ready, they would walk me through
Oh, okay.
the process and stuff.
Wow,
But
that's cool.
it is... You can't... I know you can't spread them in the Great Lakes within... I can't remember exactly, but there's a certain mileage you have
okay.
to stay away from the shore to spread the ashes.
Yeah.
So
How do you, like, because I never did that. My mom
Yeah.
was cremated as well,
yeah,
and her funeral actually was one of the most relaxed kind of things because
Yes.
she wasn't in a casket.
right.
But that was something she didn't want, and I don't want
I
that.
was gonna say I don't either.
You know.
My parents said if you can't visit me in life,
Yeah.
you don't get to see me in death.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes
So-
sense.
So
That
we
makes
did
sense.
memorial services for both Mom and Dad.
So my question was because mom actually had her ashes buried in a plot.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted,
Yeah.
and that's cool. You know, that was her
Yeah.
thing. But for you, like, how do you feel about not only them being at your home like that, but about going out and actually doing what they wanted for their
Right.
final resting wishes and whatever?
Well, it's what they want.
Right.
So
So to you, that's
to me, that's what I'm gonna do. Is
Right.
I'm gonna give them what they want
right.
when I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't,
So-
and that's understandable.
Yeah.
I just wondered how, like, not to poke in any wounds or anything,
Oh,
but I was just
yeah.
wondering, like, how you felt with that, and because I didn't do that. My mom wanted to be
Yeah.
buried, and I just was like, okay,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You
I
know.
still have the option of having them both interred in Holly in the veterans.
oh yeah, okay,
Because they were husband and wife and stuff.
right.
But they didn't want that.
They didn't want that, so
No. So
that's understandable. Did you want to go ahead and catch up with Derek's comments? on
Derek,
chat?
sure. He says both of our moms are with us. Candy says big hugs.
Yeah.
And then he said July sucks and it was rough for him and
It is.
me too.
Yeah.
And then he decided that while he was listening, he texted his mom to say that he loved her. And Derek, you'll have to tell Mom that I love her too, because his mom is fabulous.
I imagine.
And that she replied that she needed it and that she's sick, the poor thing. And he
Aw.
says, by the way, you both look fabulous today.
Thank you.
And he loves my hair.
Awesome.
And thank you, Derek. Long about 4:00, I'm like, okay, I'm struggling. I need to do something for me.
Yes.
And so Heather called and she's like, well, this is the ideas that we have for talking. And I'm like, okay. I think this is what we need to talk about, which is the grief.
Mhm.
And she's like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing something for me. And she's like, okay.
I was like, okay, I will talk to you
All
later
right,
so you
she'll
can
talk to
do
you
that.
later.
You know,
So
I understand.
So I got my little wave crimper and I crimped my hair and styled it and put on the makeup. And I'm just like, okay.
Ready world. Let's do this.
I was going to say, I saw a meme today that said, don't say fake it until you make it. Face it until you make it.
I love it.
And so
love
this
it.
is my face. I'm facing
I'm
it until I
facing it,
make it.
doing
So
it. Awesome.
And I decided to use the waterproof mascara.
I like
Thank you,
it.
Unique, for the epic waterproof, because
Good idea.
the tears have flowed and
They're not streaking.
I'm
You don't
not
have raccoon
streaking.
eyes. That's awesome and
Yeah.
important. Very important.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then Jeremy just popped in and said, cremation or casket, it's nice to have the opportunity for closure.
Very true.
And
That's
that is
true.
yes, that is
That's
very
true.
true. Dad's service was a little different than Mom because Dad was a veteran.
Right.
And I will never, ever look at the song Taps
That was hard.
in the same way ever again.
No.
Because, yeah, I've always loved the song.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous song.
It is.
And as a Girl Scout, you learn the words for it.
Yeah.
Which is day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hill, from the land, all is well.
Yeah.
But during the whole playing of Taps and the 21 gun salute, Andrea and Joan were on either side of me.
Yeah.
And I would have been on the ground had they not been there holding me.
Yeah.
Because,
Excuse me.
yeah, you never, you when it's for your loved one,
Yeah.
it's never the same.
It's not. It's definitely not.
So,
And it's a tough one. It's
It
really
is.
tough. And I was there in the back.
yeah.
Not that I didn't want to sit by you, but I just
Yeah.
needed an exit.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes. You were having
It
a
was
rough day.
It was very rough.
You needed the exit.
Mm-hmm.
You got up and you said some lovely words about Dad. And yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm out.
Yep.
Love
Peace
you.
out.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
But, it was still, that wasn't really still fresh, but I guess. Yeah, I guess. Because
Yeah.
we're going to get to that next part of
Yes.
my origin
Right.
story.
So the one thing that I've learned about grief
Mhm.
is it's not one of those things that each day gets better. You never get over it.
Right.
It's always there, but it comes in waves.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
It's like, I always explain it like it's a roller coaster.
Yeah,
You never know when the up's going to be or when the down
Yeah.
is going to be.
exactly. And like being on the open seas. Some days you're going to have clear, open water with no ripples, and some days you're going through the storm of century.
It's so true.
So
It is so true. So if
So-
you guys are going through grief right now,
yeah,
reach out if you want to us, because
Yes.
we've been through different
Yes.
types of grief.
yes,
And, if you can resonate with that, we're here. Just message our inbox and one of us
Yeah.
will answer. Or, like I said before, like there was a Facebook group that I kind of joined. But mine was a different grief.
yes.
So-
Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I am.
All right.
So I say different grief. You guys have heard that, I lost my mom to cancer, and I was going through cancer at the same time as we were diagnosed a week apart. Luckily, with surgery through U of M, I was able to continue without chemo, which was amazing, and I thank God every day for that. I was able to come out of it and to be with my mom for her final days and whatnot. Which also I'm very thankful for. It was hard, but I'm super thankful for. And so after Mom had passed, she passed in 2014. After I started Heal, I decided that I was going to get back out there and try dating again. I was over being sad and miserable. And I ended up meeting a really incredible guy named Zach. And when we first started dating, he came out to me and told me that he was an addict that was clean for 3.5 years. And he was always had that monkey on his back, and he would understand if I said I didn't want to date him. At that point, I seen somebody that I felt that really needed to be loved. And me being me, because that's me, said that he deserved to be loved and that I wanted to know him. And at that
Right.
time, I guess I didn't realize what the magnitude of that really was, because I'd never been with somebody that had an addiction like that. I've dealt with addiction with food and different other things, but to be addicted to one of the worst drugs possible, heroin,
Yeah.
which I had no idea what the magnitude would be. I knew that I fell for him. I got to meet his amazing parents,
Yes.
just incredible. I get to meet his friends, who were also amazing, and they still check on me from time to time. His parents are still in my life regularly, so I'm glad that we're talking about this right now,
Yeah.
because I will tell you part of this week what,
Yeah.
why this also resonated.
I was going to say, Jeremy says the most difficulty with grief is the unresolved issues.
Oh, for sure.
Did I do enough?
Yeah.
I didn't get that last goodbye, or they left with conflict between us.
Right. Oh, for sure.
And that is
For sure.
so very true. I was going to say, unfortunately for me, I knew there was no conflict left between mom and dad
Right.
and myself. I knew that they loved me and
So
they
you
adored
were
me.
you were able to continue to move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have come a long way since their departure on
Oh,
this
for
earth.
sure.
So,
For sure. You learn
Yeah.
through the grief, but
Yeah.
so
But unfortunately, you didn't have that with Zach.
I didn't have that with Zach, and that's why it was different. I had time with mom. They told
Yeah.
me 30 days
Yeah.
or 3 months. Sorry, 3 months, 90 days. They told me that that's what we would expect if she didn't do chemo or she couldn't do chemo. But with Zach, so we developed a relationship, and I did. I fell in love with him. I fell in love, head over heels in love with him. He was, imagine, 6'5". I say 6'5". He always said 6'4". Me being 5'1" and like a blazing redhead, just
I was
blazing
gonna say,
redhead.
6'5", 6'4".
Yeah.
It's semantics right now.
He-
really, I mean,
he would have
he
to
was tall.
bend-
He towered over you.
He had to bend in half to give me a hug.
Yeah.
Every time he gave me a hug, I was like, poor guy.
Yeah.
He was funny. He was very respectful. He was
Yes.
he loved cooking for me. There was a lot of really awesome stuff that we developed as, our relationship. And I'd stay at his
Yeah.
place. It was closer to work. We got really close.
Yeah.
And, that bonds you and you build more
I
love
was
for
gonna
them.
say, and I was the one friend that he liked hanging out with.
Yeah. Yeah. He got to meet you and,
Yes.
it was cool. We had fun. We had a lot of fun. So I knew that he dealt with this. There was something that came up where his parents had asked him to go to a rehabilitation center, but it wasn't
Yes.
for heroin. He
Okay.
was having issues with prescription drugs. And first and foremost, before I get a little bit further with this, when he was younger, one of his friends in high school had picked him up and cracked his back. So
Okay.
he ended up having an issue with his back, and they gave him pain pills. So he started using the pain pills. And then when that, he got into doing that stuff, then it went forward to a friend of his, I guess, coming back from the Army and
Yeah.
having opiate, whatever.
Opioids.
Opium. There we go.
Yeah.
Opium.
Opium.
And then he got into that. And then it just kind of stemmed from there. And then it got worse. And that's how he ended up getting addicted to it. Anyway, we're moving forward, and I had asked him to give me a ride to work. And he was a guy that never missed my call. He could be in the shower and he'd answer the phone. He never let me wait for too long. He was always on time. So it was Good Friday. And
Yep.
I'd asked him to drop me off because I figured the parking lot was going to be just crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was like, just drop me off and then come pick me up after work, and we made plans for dinner. We're in the parking lot and I'm getting ready. I get out of the car. He's like, I love you too. And have a great day at work. I'm like, okay. So I'm heading to the door and I hear him like pound on the glass and I see him give me the I love you sign. And I don't know why, but as I walked away, I felt like that. I don't know. I felt
there
something was
something
wrong.
there.
Something was wrong.
Something was wrong. Something in your gut said, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno.
So, So I went to work, and I wasn't feeling good that day. Like, I had issues all through the day. Something wasn't right. My stomach was hurting. I didn't feel good. So, I go to work. I do my hours. I pushed hours, I worked a
Yeah.
little bit longer even though I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling good. I pushed through.
Right.
And I said, okay, this is the time I get out. Please pick me up.
Uh-huh.
So I messaged, and he was a little bit slow at responding, and that wasn't like him. And I'm going, okay, that's weird. What's up,
Right.
So he took my car over to his mom and dad's, and dad always fixes my car. Whatever's
Right.
going on with it.
Yeah.
My Malibu falls apart. Stuff happens to it all the time.
That thing is held together with duct tape and a prayer.
I call it Frankenstein.
It's held together
Pretty
with duct
much.
tape and a prayer.
Pretty much. So
Yeah.
they fill it up, and he goes and gets the check engine light figured out and whatnot. And
Right.
so I knew that. Like, he'd told me I knew this was what was wrong with the car, and he messaged me and told me, and I was like, oh yeah, you were right,
Right.
And so, and then I messaged him, and I'm like, are you okay? Because he's really slow. Yeah, I was just busy with this. I said, okay. So I knew he was supposed to go over to a friend's house that day, and I said, that's fine, just please make sure you're back on time.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 o'clock rolls around, I get out of work, and I'm calling, and no answer. I'm like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I wait. He doesn't call back. He doesn't text. I text, and I said, where are you? What are you doing? Leave a message. Hey, this isn't like you. Where are you? Like, I wasn't mad, but I was like, what's going on?
Right. You
So
were
that was
confused.
a message on his phone that
Yeah.
I left, and I wasn't mad, but I was confused.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so I go back in. And I talked to Tony. Called
Right.
Tony, and I said, he's not here. I don't know what's going on. This is weird. Like, he's not here. This isn't like him.
Yeah.
He says, calm down, calm
Yeah.
down.
It's not the end of the world. Calm
Right.
down.
And then I call his friend, and I'm like, where is he? Is he at your place? What's going on? And he's like,
Right.
no, I haven't seen him today.
Uh-huh.
I never even heard from him. I'm like, he was supposed to come to your place. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I hang up, and I try again. Nothing. I call his mom and dad, and they say, well, we're by there, honey. He's probably just sleeping. We'll go check him out, and one of us will be there to get you. And so, he's probably just sleeping. We seen him earlier. He gave us a hug, everything,
Yeah.
So they go, and they call me back, I think, or I called, one of the two. And Dad says, we found him on the floor, and he's not breathing, but we're working on him right now. And I just...
Yeah.
what the heck?
Right.
So I hang up, and he says, I'll call you back when I know more.
Yeah.
And I go into panic mode. I call Tony, throwing up out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I run inside, and I'm just like, can somebody help me? I need to get a ride. I need to get to my boyfriend's house. Like,
Yeah.
they found him on the floor, and I'm hysterical. I'm hysterical. And everybody, come over and help me, and I'm like panicking, and I'm
Yeah.
anxiety full. I'm losing it.
Uh-huh.
And
And then
so
and then you remembered I was working.
I remembered you were working, so
Mhm.
I called you, or no,
No,
they took
you
me
sent-
to you.
You sent one of the green coats.
Yeah, they went
down
to you.
to us, and
So
she talked to my boss and made it to where I could
get out.
leave.
Then
and
they
then-
took me down on one of the little trucks
Carts.
on the
Yeah,
back because I couldn't
One of the
walk.
carts. You
I couldn't walk. I was losing it.
Well,
dizzy.
and it was pre-surgery.
It was pre-surgery, so I didn't have. I couldn't make it there that
Yeah.
quick, let alone
Right.
feeling like I'm gonna fall over.
Right, and you were in a panic attack too.
I
So
was in major panic attack.
Yep.
I get to you, and you called your dad.
Yep.
And he was on his way.
yes.
And I swear, like, I don't know if this was the time, but I know in between, like, I called again,
Yeah.
and Dad, I'm waiting for Dad to tell me what hospital to go to. Like,
Yeah.
what hospital do I go to?
Yes.
And he's just saying, come to Zach's house.
Yes.
Come to Zach's house. And then I don't
you
know.
You didn't understand. I can remember you didn't. You're just like, he's not telling me anything. Here, talk to my friend Becky.
Yeah.
and
Because I couldn't.
you couldn't
My
do
brain.
it anymore. Your brain had shut off.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I was dealing with talking to his dad was his dad had told me, well, we don't know what hospital they're taking his body to.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
And you didn't know that. And so I was trying to keep you calm.
Right.
Because you were losing it.
Yeah.
And then Dad showed up, and I'm wasting time trying to make space in the car for you because
You already knew.
I
You didn't want
already
to take me
knew.
there.
I didn't want to take you there because I didn't want you to see.
His body coming out.
Yeah,
And I didn't know that.
exactly. So I was trying to waste time.
Right.
Until they could get the body out. Unfortunately,
I think it was 10 o'clock by the time we got there. It felt
it
like
was,
it.
It was late.
Yeah.
It was late. It was about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So.
And,
So, I get in the car and
yeah,
we head on over, and all the way there I'm going, this is nothing's right.
wrong.
Something isn't right. So I'm in the car with you, and we get over there. Well, no, on the way there I keep on saying that it's not right. It's not right.
Yeah.
And we get closer because it was a little bit of a drive even to get there.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's not far. It wasn't bad, but it felt like forever.
Yeah.
So we get closer, and
I say, oh, there are police lights.
and I say, well, they're blocking the driveway, so we have to pull in next door. And we get there, and I get out, and I look over, and there's a hearse. And I lose it because it shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been there.
It shouldn't have. You are absolutely correct.
He just turned 31.
Yeah.
And his parents come running over, and they give me a big hug, and they hold me, and they say, we lost him. And I say, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Because I went into shock.
I was going to say, all three of us were literally holding you up.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't have been for his dad, I think you would have been on the ground.
Yeah. I was supposed to come home. He was supposed to cook for me. He was supposed to pick me up, and he never showed up.
Yeah.
So, worst day ever. It was hard. I went home with his parents. They took me home. I went in. I got my stuff. The house was just a wreck. They had to shove the couch and everything over because they had to get the stretcher in to get him.
Yeah.
In the room on my side of the bed, he had fallen and he hit his head. And there was blood on the floor.
Yes, because head injuries bleed like a mofo.
Yep. And so I had to see that and grab my stuff. And they took me over to their house, and I think I maybe slept an hour, got a hold of people and told them what happened. And I mean, to an extent, he hadn't talked to anybody that dealt to him in all those years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the guy who sold him for $11, everybody, $11, had just, I guess, added him to Facebook, and there was text messages back and forth of between them about getting the drugs.
Yeah.
$11, and it killed him instantly, from what I found out, because it was such a high dose. So, and from not going that long and then using again, it shuts you down, you know?
Yeah.
So, this is, we had Thanksgiving together, and it was incredible. His mom cooked, and they brought it over. He had not been feeling very good.
Yeah.
He was dealing with strep throat.
Yeah.
Which, incredibly, I did not get, by the way, because I used thieves.
That's good.
But we had a great day. We had a great day, but the weirdest thing about it is we were playing trivia together.
Yeah.
we were doing the karaoke. He was giving me a song to sing,
Uh-huh.
and I was doing that. And then I got sad on Thanksgiving because I was like, man, my mom's not here. I wish you would have met her. She was cool. Thanksgiving would have been
Yeah.
awesome together. And he says, that's just the weirdest thing. Like, we all expire. He said that to me the night before.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Very crazy. So anyway, I didn't get angry at him right away.
Yeah.
I didn't get mad at him right away. I went through the feelings of not wanting to be around anymore.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. And I never went through that at a young age.
Yeah.
Never wanted to be gone off this earth.
Yeah.
But I was grieving totally different than from what I did with my mom.
Right.
And he was gone.
Yeah.
Like that.
And there is anger in all grief.
I finally got there.
Yeah.
I finally got there, but
I
I
remember
wasn't.
when you got there.
I wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah.
But to this day, though, guys, I still talk with his parents. They are
Yes.
incredible people.
Yes, they are.
And I'm kind of glad that we're talking about this right now. And that's another thing. They love Adam.
Yeah, that's.
They call him their son.
Yeah.
Like, what? And they are advocates for
Well, their son was
helping.
taken too soon.
Yeah. And Adam's younger than what?
Yeah.
That's another story. But they're advocates for helping people that are dealing with addiction.
Yes.
They work through Salvation Army.
Okay.
They just did an incredible project where his mom and dad sold the 2 vehicles that Zach had.
Okay.
But they raised this money to put brand new curtains on the Salvation Army that is where people can go and stay to get help.
Oh wow.
They go and they speak out.
Yes.
They've talked to several different people. It's just incredible what they do.
Well, and you yourself have done some work,
I have.
so
Yeah.
you might want to talk about that.
There was a thing that they were talking about the Narcan, and for anybody that has never experienced that, Narcan is something that can be used in the event of somebody overdosing. The kind that they have started to use now, instead of it being a needle, is that they actually, it's like a nasal spray.
Spray. Yeah.
To kind of restart them. And I've never had to experience that. Actually, he did have Narcan at the house. I had put it away because what they had given him was one with a needle. And I feared that if he seen that it was going to be in his mind that he'd want to use. So they didn't know that, though. But he, like I said, he unfortunately passed instantly.
It wouldn't have done him any good.
It wouldn't have done any good.
Yeah.
But so this was another thing that was kind of hard too. I spoke out. I did speak for that, and I would
Yes.
love to get out and start public speaking about it again.
Right.
But Adam is type 1 diabetic,
Yes.
and that kind of brought something out because I seen the needle that reminded me, and that was hard for a while.
Right.
It was super hard for a while. But I don't have that as like a trigger thing or whatever you want to call it. That doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
But this past week, last week, whatever, his parents talked to Adam and I about possibly taking over the house.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm not sure if I'm ready for.
Right. I understand that.
But what incredible people to offer something like that.
Yeah.
They have just hearts of gold.
They are selfless.
They are so selfless.
Yes.
I mean, just amazing people.
Yeah.
And Adam is very understanding and very supportive.
Yes.
When we first got together, he said, don't you ever put his picture away. Because there was a picture of him and I. And it was funny because it's head and shoulders, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of our last, like, really good pictures. And he's like, don't put it away. I have a blanket. That was Zach's. And he was just like, why isn't that on the bed? You know, he doesn't look at, like, and I know some people that have dated a widow.
Yes.
Don't know how to, they feel like it's a competition.
Right.
And he's never felt that way.
That's great.
He's never felt that way. And I did join a Young Widows Facebook group to help me get through it. I joined a like a addiction heroin Facebook page.
Yeah.
because I wanted to understand, because I
Yes.
felt like it was my fault. I felt like not that it was my fault. I felt that he wouldn't have done it because he loved me. Like, he
Right.
loved me. Why did he do that? Why would he
Right.
choose that over
Right.
me?
Exactly.
And I got to talk with people that have been addicted, and I found out that it wasn't,
It had nothing to do with
had
you.
nothing to do with me.
Right.
It had everything to do with the addiction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, thanks for letting me get that out.
You're welcome. I was gonna say, Candy, put the little crying emoji
Yeah.
in the. So
Yeah, it's not an easy thing.
no.
And for a long time, I felt I was starting out in my relationship with Adam, and it was
I know it took
a
you
bit.
a long time to actually be ready to start dating again as well.
It did, and I was getting ready to do my weight loss surgery,
Yes.
and I didn't want to date somebody and be like, oh, you're perfect the way that you are, and never do it, because I knew
Right.
it was something that I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it did take me a while to get into a relationship, and yeah, I knew though, like, one of Zach's big things was putting me on the inside when we walked down the
Yeah.
the sidewalk,
Right.
reaching his hand out for me,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, man, I'm gonna fall on my butt. And when Adam and I started dating, he reached his hand up to me like Zach did on the very same steps, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this guy might be good. He might be.
Yeah. He might be. Yeah.
He is. But so yeah, I mean that's part of the other grief that I dealt with, and oof, that's not a good one. None of it's good, but that was so much harder. Like, my mom, yes,
Yeah.
I knew my whole life, but I knew I had some time to tie up those loose ends.
Yeah.
He was gone overnight. Like, gone.
Gone.
Not even
in the
overnight.
blink, literally a blink of an eye.
Yeah. And I'm upset though. I'm upset.
You can be upset.
Because
be upset.
the evidence and everything was passed over to the police.
Yes.
Nothing has been done. They know
Right.
him.
Yeah.
They know the guy is a dealer,
Uh-huh.
and Zach is not the first guy that he sold drugs to that died.
Wow.
And they're
And
doing
yet
nothing.
And he's still on the streets.
He's still on the streets. They're doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. And his parents have been fighting tooth and nail, and his sister,
Yes.
his family,
Yes.
and they're doing nothing. Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing about it.
Jeremy
And it kills
says,
me.
Jeremy says, thanks for sharing. It's essential for the healing process.
It is.
It is.
Thank
so.
you guys for listening. I mean, that was a hard one.
So
I was like, no, I'm not going to cry. Okay.
she ended up with the box of Kleenex over on her side of the room, just saying.
I did.
But it's okay, because every time we cry,
We heal.
we heal.
We push it out,
Yes.
We push it out. And I got to say thank you to for Tony and Emily and
Yes.
Leon and everybody that you were
Yes.
around for that. I mean, you were there with me.
I was there on the worst day of your life, yes.
To his friends. I mean, Max, his friend Max came and got me the next day and took me back to the house, and then I gathered a few things that meant something to me, and he helped with getting the police over there to give the information.
Yes.
He checked on me, constantly checked on me. His friend Nick checked on me. I mean, great people,
Yes.
and then the funeral was hard.
Oh,
But
bet.
I spoke. Our pastor that was at Colwood actually drove all the way down there.
Oh, wow.
He did the service.
and that would
it
be
was
Jason?
Jason Garwood.
Okay,
Yeah, he
yeah.
did the service for Zach, and my friend Brian actually drove me to the funeral and was with
Yeah.
me. There was just a lot going on. My friend Melissa showed up down there.
Right.
It was further away, and it's hard. It's hard to do that stuff. My cousin Cindy came.
Yeah.
She drove me to one of the things. I mean, it was just she drove me back so that I could spend time. And I went and stayed with his
Right.
parents. I've
Yes.
stayed over there several times.
I can remember that, yeah.
Great people.
And
I'll forever be
and
grateful
not
to
only
them.
are you staying over there, but you continue to reach out to them.
Oh yeah.
And you go
They
and
reach
you
out
have,
to me.
And you go and you have dinner with them and stuff like
We
that.
do. Yeah.
I was going to say, so that's that. I think that makes the process a little easier too,
It does.
is having the people.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Oh, for sure.
you have been there for me on my worst days as well.
Likewise. You know,
So I mean, it's tribe is important.
it's very important. And when
Yeah.
you know, and when you find them, you know.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, it's not been easy, but thank you for, sticking by me through all this. And,
Thank you.
Tony let me like sleep down here in the studio for like
Right.
2 days straight, but everybody would come in increments and check on me like, okay, go check on Heather. Okay, is she
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
So I just wanna thank everybody for supporting that, and that situation has made it to want to do this even more.
Right. Exactly.
I want to do this even more. I want to reach people, and you want to reach people, and
Yes.
I want to keep going, guys. And if you guys want to continue to see us keep going, just let us know. Let us know what you
Yes.
what you want from us, like guests or topics and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Let us
exactly.
know what
I was
you
going to
want.
say, through the whole grief process, I
Mhm.
learned that, okay, yes, there are the 7 stages of grief.
Yeah.
They are not linear stages.
No.
There is nothing linear. You don't go through apathy or denial or
No.
anger. You can feel all 7 stages at one frickin' time.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
So,
But and you could
yeah.
be anywhere. You could be shopping. You could
Yes.
be, who knows, a song can come on,
I was
a vehicle that they liked. It doesn't matter. Whatever it comes up, it's like, oh
I can
man.
remember shortly after Dad passing away, I actually broke down in the drive-through because I had to wait for hash brown.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Stuff like that doesn't matter.
I got pulled over to number 1
Yeah.
because my hash brown was not ready.
And that's like the worst day ever.
It is. I'm just
I-
like, who cries over a hash brown?
Happens.
This girl.
That girl. And that was one thing too that I found from myself, because I had memories. Zach came
Yeah.
over and stayed at my place.
Oh.
So what I would find is I would pull up and sit in my car. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go
Yeah.
in the house. I'd sit in there forever.
Right.
It was cold out though, so I wouldn't be in there for as long as I would have liked. But
Yeah.
I'd sit in the car. I'd
Yeah.
listen for signs. I'd listen to music. I would,
Right.
And one of my favorite things about him was his laugh. Like, I'll never forget that laugh. It was so
Right.
loud, and it just like the first time he ever laughed, I was like, oh, "What just happened?"
Right.
But those are the things that we take with us
Yes.
through the grief, through everything. Is you remember and you recall the things that you loved, and you'll never forget
Yes.
about that person.
Exactly.
And I think that makes it easier to get through.
Had the discussion with my aunt today, that anybody who has seen my mom says I'm the spitting image of Mom.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
then
yeah.
I did the Snapchat filter that made me look like a guy.
I was laughing.
And I looked at that and I'm like, okay, give me a mustache and a beard. And I'm the spitting
I am
image of my
dad.
father.
I am my father.
I am my father.
That's funny. Oh
So,
my gosh.
but we were talking about how I have Mom's laughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's true.
anytime I laugh, it's like
It makes you feel good.
it does.
I know it sounds weird, but
It
like,
does. It's like, okay, she is still a part of me.
oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And we're
Yeah.
part of them. And
Yes.
we're here still to be able to talk about them and tell their story and tell
Right.
how great they were. And one of my favorite things
Yeah.
is, I got my hair cut short finally. I
Yeah.
decided to take the plunge.
Uh-huh.
But I keep on getting, and I even said, I'm like, oh my God, I look like my mom.
Right.
And I keep getting the messages, oh my gosh, is that Aunt Carol? Is it, you look like your mom? And it makes me smile because I'm so thankful,
Well, you remember what happened when I dyed my hair blonde?
Mm-hmm.
I giggled
Yeah.
because my mother said, don't you ever go blonde. You're going to go blonde over my dead body.
You're like, I'm blind.
And guess what? I'm blind.
Right? That's
So-
so funny. Oh my gosh.
So,
So,
so It's
We came, we
probably,
cried.
yes, we came, we
We're
cried.
snotty. We're a
We,
little
yeah,
snotty.
we're a little snotty. And Jeremy says memories always keep them alive in
Oh,
our
for sure.
hearts. It's a
Yeah.
great show, Healing Through Sharing. So,
Thank you.
thank you all for sticking it out this
Yeah.
long. Any last advice on grief?
The best thing that I can say about grief is just remember, it is a roller coaster,
It
and
is.
do not kick yourself for taking your time and grieving as you need to grieve.
Yes.
People will try to push you. Do not allow that. You
Right.
take the time, a healthy amount of time that
It
you
is
need.
your process.
And if you
and no
cry
one
while waiting
else's.
for a hash brown, it's
You
part of
cry
it.
waiting for a hash
Deal
brown.
with it. However, though, I do also want to say, because when Mom had passed away and when Zach had passed away,
Yeah.
I did deal with depression, obviously.
Yes.
But I also had those thoughts of, what if I wasn't here anymore? And if
Yeah.
you guys feel that and you know it's not like you, which I did,
Right.
I reached out.
Yes.
And I called my friends and I said, whoa,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about taking too many of these pills right now.
Right.
And that's not me. So I know that's hard to hear, especially if it's family listening right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's the truth. But I got through it.
Yes.
And you can too.
Yes. And
You can too.
I was struggling today.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, something needs to change.
Hmm.
And so I got up, did my hair,
Yeah.
put on makeup, and said, here I come.
Yep. And
So-
you're making it till you feel, well, what's the quote again?
I'm facing it until I make it.
There you go. I like that.
Yes.
I like that a lot. What would you tell our listeners or anybody that's going through grief, advice that you would give?
Well, for me, it's enjoy those times where people reach out to you. I know when people first passed away, everybody wants to rush in,
Yeah.
and then there's nobody. Continue to reach out to the people you love
Yeah.
who are going through grief. Because, yes, they will make excuses because they're depressed and they don't want to get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But keep at it. I know my biggest thing last year was Tony inviting me to the 4th of July party.
Yeah.
Did I want to go? Oh, no.
But you did.
I came up with 5,000 excuses not to go,
Yeah.
but I showed up.
And you had fun.
And I had fun.
And Derek came with you.
And Derek came
And
with
he was
me.
hilarious. It was
Derek,
so fun.
Derek, the friend of 1,000 voices.
Yeah.
So yes, look
Just
to
do it.
those people who are there,
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to reach out.
Yep. Never be afraid to reach out. And if it feels like a certain person is not listening,
Yes,
keep on reaching out. Somebody will
Yes.
have the time.
yes.
I know that sounds weird, but so many people
We all
are
go
so
through
busy.
stuff. We all go through
Are,
stuff.
are dealing, like you said, dealing with
Right.
something on their own. I know a friend of mine, and I kind of feel the same way. I kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
If I don't answer right away, it's not that I don't want to talk.
Yes.
It's I want to make sure that I have ample amount of time for you.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean, if they might be busy, life is crazy, guys.
Yes.
But
Life
don't
is
don't
crazy.
stop reaching out, and do
Yes.
not give up on yourself,
Yes.
because the world is already a hard place with that person gone. They don't need two people
Yes.
gone. I'm not trying to make
Exactly.
you feel guilty. Please don't think that. But, keep on moving. Keep moving
So,
forward.
Yes,
I
exactly.
think that's the best advice.
Best advice is keep moving forward and do all things with love.
Yeah, for sure. That's great.
Love is scary.
It is.
It is so scary.
But not being loved or loving is even scarier.
It's scarier.
I
Yes.
think.
So do all things with love.
Absolutely. So, on that note,
Be better, not bitter.
yes, and guys, remember that life is best lived.